Let's watch some small video, and so that we can comment. Let's watch this video.
It's my first time in this constituency at a conference as a Jamaican Labour Party member. I could not let this pass and don't come and give greetings. So, comment chairman, sorry, stay to you old-fashioned song. Now, so chairman.
So Diamond Finger have PNP on his mind, so till him have a big up PNP at a Labourtite conference. No for them say slip, him must slip. But what upon his mind, him attack. It is just that this man is a PNP act like him a Labourtite because him a get position and money to represent the Labourtite them. I always say this, no Jamaican and no Labourtite. Every Jamaican is a PNP. Them just confuse and support the Labourtite them. Because me, you, your mother, your father, everybody in your family is supposed to know where the Labourtite them stand for. So me know say, I just the money and the fame and the hype, most of these people are run down, make them join the Jamaican Labour Party. Because what kind of slip this man could have slip? And I big up PNP for a Labourite conference. And under the first it happened. And the first it happened, I think Carl Samoda did do it as well. You understand me? I say, so basically, what me see right now is that this man is a PNP. I act as if he's a Labourite. It's up to my viewers and my subscribers. I hope everybody having a blessed and a wonderful night. Now, my viewers and my subscribers, remember, in everything you do, always put God first in every any situation. Just always remember to call upon God. Always remember to pray, because a prayer day keep the devil away. Now, my viewers and my subscribers, we have a lot coming up inside this update, so you definitely don't want to miss none. So remember, leave a like on this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed as yet. Remember, people, we are on our way to 100,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed yet, now is the right time for you to do so. Subscribe and turn on the post notification bell. Alright? Make a run the intro and come back. We soon forward. So welcome back to my viewers and my subscribers them. Big up to all of my viewers, big up to all of my subscribers them. We continually support the channel and help the channel to grow. Now, remember to leave a like on this video. Remember to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you're a new viewers first time on my channel, then please subscribe to my channel and turn on the post notification bell, so whenever we drop new content, you will be first to be notified. Share the content with a friend, a family, a loved one. Share it on your social media platform. So people, Mark Golin put out a press release today. And from Mark Golin put out that press release, the Labourite them are run up and down with a bag of chat. Now people, this is the press release that Mark Golin put out today. Check it out.
I acknowledge with pleasure President Biden's use of his clemency power in relation to Jamaican national hero and Pan-Africanist, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We are claiming this as a complete exoneration of our national hero, who suffered a grave injustice when he was wrongfully prosecuted in the U.S. for mail fraud and sentenced in 1923 to 5 years in prison. Marcus was imprisoned from 1925 to 1927, when U.S. President Calvin Coolidge commuted the sentence and had him deported. President Biden's action corrects a grave historical miscarriage of justice that had resulted from an illegal operation designed to disable the influential Pan-Africanist movement, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, that had captured the imagination of hundreds of thousands of people of African descent. President Biden's action acknowledges the profound impact that Garvey had in shaping the narratives of freedom, equality, and justice. Garvey's principles of unity and self-determination serve to solidify and embolden the mandate of social justice movements in Africa and its diaspora, and will also encourage a new generation of Pan-Africanist advocates to assume a mantle of leadership with a renewed sense of purpose. The decision is a call to action to African peoples to advance the agenda that Mr. Garvey was promoting over a century ago. It is a vindication of the principles for which Garvey stood. Marcus Garvey, a visionary and an extraordinary Pan-Africanist, played a pivotal role in advocating for the empowerment and upliftment of African peoples globally. A Jamaican by birth, Garvey's influence transcended borders, inspiring countless individuals to take pride in their heritage, reclaim their identity, and strive for the liberation of their peoples. His ideas continue to resonate today, calling us to action and urging us to recognize our shared responsibility towards one another. Marcus Garvey's philosophies were deeply ingrained in the civil rights movements across our region and beyond. His call for a universal African identity, a call for Africans to embrace their true selves and work together for the betterment of their communities, remain as vital today as they were during the early 20th century. We have witnessed the impact of his teachings in our local contexts, inspiring generations to stand up for their rights and demand justice. While grave issues of inequity and imbalance continue to face African peoples and the diaspora, this action provides a beacon of hope and is an emblem of resilience and determination. Action, self-reliance, the vision of self, and the future have been the only means by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of their own freedom. Let us continue to draw inspiration from his life and work, pushing forward with strength and unity as we strive for a brighter, more just future for all. The willingness to right historical wrongs not only restores honor to Marcus Garvey, but also paves the way for future dialogues on race, equality, and justice. Let us honor this legacy by working together towards a more equitable and inclusive world.
So after Mark Golding put out that press release, Donovan Williams, which is a feather brother, jump out of him shell after him have so much things over on theme side to talk about. Him have so much things over on theme side for rectify. Him jump out of theme shell like some big bad bull. I jump down Mark Golding short. Now, this is what Mr. Donovan Williams had to say about Mark Golding. People.
It is clear that the PNP president does not understand the fight to clear Marcus Garvey's name. It seems he's somehow detached from history. His misleading statement indicates that he does not understand that a pardon is not an exoneration, but references the act of forgiving for commission of an offense. Exoneration includes a full declaration of innocence while acknowledging unjust prosecution. The fact is, a pardon, while welcome, is only part of the process of clearing Mr. Garvey's name and achieving full and unconditional exoneration of Jamaica's first national hero. While the posthumous pardoning of Marcus Garvey, which has come following tireless lobbying by Prime Minister Holness, Chairman Montague, and Ministers Grange and Johnson-Smith, in collaboration with Marcus Garvey's family, diaspora stakeholders, and members of the U.S. Congress, is a step in the right direction. The work of the Jamaica Labour Party administration continues towards achieving the full and unconditional exoneration of Marcus Garvey. This is not the first time that the PNP president has issued hasty, historically incorrect, and misleading statements in what appears to be an inappropriate bid to take credit for a development which neither he nor his party had anything to do with. I am hopeful that the PNP president will reflect on the error of his ways and consider issuing an apology for misleading the country. It would also be good if the PNP president also expresses some contrition for former PNP President Norman Manley's unjust prosecution of Marcus Garvey in 1930 and for utterances by Manley where the former PNP President also disrespected Mr. Garvey by questioning Garvey's intelligence and describing him as a national disgrace.
So Mr. Hypocrite Williams, you can say it is a step in the right direction, but Mark Golding cannot say it is a step in the right direction. You know, say you don't have a pint. Eh? You know, say you just a try to score political pints. You just a try to find something to talk about. Why you don't talk about the real things that are happening? Why you don't talk about the facts them? Where if you talk about, why you don't talk about your corrupted leader? Come on, man. You're being a little child. You're acting like a little child, Mr. Donovan Williams. Mr. Hypocrite, you're acting like a little child. But guess what? You won't get to score no political points off of Mark Golding because Mark Golding don't even see you, Donovan Williams.
Have complained to me about and want the Integrity Commission to respond to. Why is the Integrity Commission asking members to indicate the salaries of their spouse? I mean, or sometimes of their children. And you see, I don't know if this is something that is appropriate, Chairman, because I have advised the relevant member, let them know your spouse is not prepared to divulge their salary to her or him, and therefore he or she cannot so report it. And these are things, Chairman, when we get back to the legislation, we have to make it very clear what limits can be put in terms of investigation. We know, Chairman, that they ask information from banks, register of companies, the registry of titles. I know that because they brought up the companies that my name has been on, which were formed 30 years ago, which I totally forgot about. But they found it in the register of companies. So I had to close those 2 companies, which never operated. And I know of other members who have complained, Chairman.
So after this corrupted politician make this corrupted speech, the man of them call him corrupted Delroy Chuck, that Integrity Commission should not be allowed to investigate spouse and children of any public servant. Them shouldn't fast in them account and all of them something there. More calls are there for this man to resign. Even nationwide news start call upon him to resign now. Because them really realize why him say is a big mess to the party. So them ask him kindly to come down now. Them ask him kindly to resign. And I agree. Delroy Chuck, you need to resign now.
He has no other option but to resign. If our justice minister is advising another public official to give a response that would prevent that public official from complying with the law, the Minister of Justice has rendered his position untenable. He is the justice minister. Anywhere else in the world, if any justice minister admits to advising another public official to break the law, I'm certain any country worth its salt, any country serious about accountability and good governance, that justice minister would have to resign. But we're saying here and now that Delroy Chuck needs to come to the public and explain to the public what the advice he has given, because on the face of it, what he has said is not acceptable. We have to hold our public officials to a higher standard. So Delroy Chuck, the People's National Party isn't the only political entity that needs to come forward and address the public with dispatch. Mr. Justice Minister, with dispatch you need to address the Jamaican people about those remarks. Did you in fact advise a public official who you described as the member to not comply with Section 40 of the Integrity Commission Act? And if he has so done, the Justice Minister should resign. We take the break.
Me personally have the same view as well. Him not have no other option but to resign. That the speech that I make, him need to resign. Jamaica need to stop support corrupted politician. We need to stop support corruption. Me no know how Jamaica just indulge in a corruption and wrongdoing so. Why? What happened? Want to the moral? Want to integrity of these people? Eh? So they go try to block the integrity commission because you don't know so you hide money in our spouse and our children in account. Just like how Andrew Wallace had tried to switch over Estate Bridge to his sister and his son. And that you no plan for do. Only is a set of hypocrite. But listen now. You have one little hypocrite. One little hypocrite. Judas and what you don't call him again? Corrupted. One over there on the Jamaica Labour Party side. One named Marlon Morgan. That the one that is a true definition of corruption. That the one that is a true definition of a corrupted politician. It look like I say Andrew Wallace have a piece of belt over him back. And I say, listen, anytime any of these corrupted politicians come out and say anything corrupted and the public are beat them, more you go, they go defend them. Now, I want to listen how Diane Jackson Miller angle this corrupted, wicked, evil man then call him Marlon Morgan. People, listen it up.
Say what he means and speak clearly. Do not try to suggest that there is any misinterpretation here.
There is a reason, because I know that there's a lot of gray area. I am dealing with the black and white that is before us. What the minister said in very clear Jamaican standard English. He said, I have advised the relevant member. That must be instructive. It means that of the universe of parliamentarians, the 84 of them, and indeed perhaps other public officials, there are some who have attended upon him in relation to a challenge they have had, and this is the advice as Justice Minister, the minister who piloted the legislation, that he has proffered to them.
Let me move on to the other. No, you can be clear on what you're saying, and I am clear.
To be clear based on the text that is here.
You know, you're not going to do this, right? You can come and put any interpretation you want. I am saying the minister's words were clear. All right? And I'm saying...
That's why I'm faithful to the minister's words, not any figment of my imagination.
No, you are putting an interpretation on the minister's words.
That's your opinion.
No, that's a statement of fact, because this is a clear sentence. But before I run out of time...
So what do you take relevant member to refer to here, Diane?
I already told you...
it could refer to married people.
Correct. Okay. I'm not saying that is what I am interpreting it as. I am saying you are acting as if your interpretation is the only one that's valid, and I'm saying that's not so. But there is actually there
on the program.
Let us assume, and let's assume, because I heard him talking to Emily yesterday and he gave that same explanation. Now let's assume that all of that is correct. There is actually a far broader concern, which is the minister's insistence that it is not appropriate to be asking about salaries of spouses and children. And given the fact that this legislation, the intent, he said that could not have been the intent. The intent of the legislation is to prevent public servants from thieving money and hiding it in accounts.
We know the trust and the spirit of
I am going to finish my point.
Sure.
Okay. The intent of the legislation is to prevent public servants, not just parliamentarians, from thieving money and hiding assets under the names of their spouses and their children. That is why we have minor children and spouses supposing to declare. So it is of great concern to hear this pushback now from the parliamentarians as to why should spouses declare.
All right, so Diane, I am very mindful, and I suspect our listeners this evening, many of them are mindful as well as to the thrust of the Integrity Commission and what they're seeking to achieve in terms of averting people being able to siphon off resources and hide it, in all kinds of places. But just to be clear here, the minister because this was a committee of parliament, was being exploratory and probing in his remarks. And that's why I'm going to read a part of the remark. He says here, and you see, referring to the chairman, of course, Leon, I don't know if this is something that is appropriate, chairman. That's a question. You're being probing here. You're interrogating, because this is precisely what you want members to do when they're in committee. We're seeking to look at legislation to determine how we make them more relevant, how we make them more fit for purpose, how you make the laws serve a greater deterrent effect, basically. You may elect to broaden the scope of a piece of legislation. You may elect to narrow the scope beyond. So the idea is that we come with a law in one instance, but with the passage of time, based on further and better perspectives, based on our experiences with the legislation, we may elect to amend. So he's thrown out a question. Now, the question that is thrown out, and the fact that he is exploring this, doesn't suggest that, listen, he is not seized or mindful of the appropriateness of the Integrity Commission being able to detect and go after persons who are essentially 2-foot posts. Is that the point I'm making?
Perhaps you should listen back to his conversation with Emily.
Because I've transcribed it.
Perhaps you should listen back to his conversation with Emily, in which he was very clear that he did not think it was appropriate to be asking about assets of spouses and children.
Brian,
which goes against what this argument you are making about exploring legislation. That is not what was said.
And that's fine, as he is well within his right to do. The reason why legislation is before people, the House, because from time to time legislation has clauses that see them coming up for review, and that's fine, because you may be of a particular mind in one instance, and indeed based on the passage of time and the experience that the country has with a piece of legislation, you may evolve to a position where you say, listen, this is not fit for purpose, it is not
where you
practical,
evolve to
it's
a
not
position
practical.
that we should not be asking for declaration of assets from spouses and children when it is well known that they are used as proxies by people who are seeking to hide illicit wealth.
Well, why wouldn't a second cousin be used by a 2-foot post to do what 2-foot posts do? Why wouldn't a second cousin or an aunt?
I tell you what, Mr. Morgan, no, I don't see the point at all. And I know say you're talking fool. I know that people do not take assets and put them in the accounts of second and third and fourth cousins. I know you know that.
I don't know what he's doing.
I tell you what, I'm at the break.
I know what many of us suspect that they do.
I tell you
what. I don't know
what.
for a fact, because I don't have any people
I'm
come
at the
to
break.
and I give it to my godmother.
I'm at the break. We'll talk again, I'm sure. We appreciate your time as always.
We definitely need to.
You have a good weekend.
And same to you, my dear.
Let's go to...
Now, this is just to show you that none of them over there, on the Jamaican Labour Party side, now have no moral. Them now have no integrity. They know nothing about them. Because how can this man make a speech like this and you defend him? How can you defend a speech like this unless you're a part of the corruption as well? Why wouldn't you want the Integrity Commission to investigate the spouse and the children as well? Remember, if me, I hide something, right? I'm going to say they don't search my bank account. I'm going to they're not going to search my wife bank account, my daughter, son bank account. Then what me I go do? Me I go hide it in a feed them bank account. If me know they're not going to search for them house, me I go hide it in a feed them house. So what am I trying to do now is that I'm trying to use these people to cover up them corruption. The wife and the children. Or the husband and the children. Because they're not a politician or a public official or so forth, then the Integrity Commission is supposed to search nothing for them. They're not supposed to be investigated by the Integrity Commission. So them can always hide things not for them account or not for them house or anywhere, even at the pantage or anything. Corruption at a high place, people. This boy, our name Delroy Chuck, need to resign with immediate effect. Him need to resign, people. Trust me. Now, on to other story, my viewers and my subscribers. Emily Shield, that's Emily Shield, right? And Dr. Dayton Campbell were going at it in a audio, people, in an interview. And trust me, Emily Shield pressure Dr. Dayton Campbell. But guess what? Dr. Dayton Campbell stand his ground. and him answer to the questions as well. Even though at some point she had tried to overpower him, like she want him to just say what she want him to say. But people, me I go play this interview so you guys can have a better understanding of what I am talking about, and you guys can leave your honest opinion down below in the comment section. Remember, leave a like on this video.
Was there another meeting on the 4th of January 2025 with Mr. Rowe again?
Yes, there was a meeting in early January.
And you
after
were
the
present?
decision was communicated, yes. After the decision was communicated, I think Mr. Rowe removed his things from the office, and persons would have sent pictures to suggest that the office was vandalized. The windows were removed, and there was an area that appeared as if a door was removed. I sent them to him, and he said he took out his stuff from the office, and that there was no door at that point, so it's not that a door was removed. He then asked for a meeting with the leader of the party, and the leader asked a few of us to accompany him to the meeting.
So the windows and so forth, those were put in by Mr. Rowe with his own money?
He said he changed what was there and he put in some new windows. Yes, that's what he said.
And do you know about when he removed them?
It would have been between the 30th of December and the 4th of January.
Right. So the meeting with him on the 4th of January, you said you were present. Mr. Bunting was present?
Yes.
And the president, Mr. Golding?
Correct.
Plus Mr. Rowe?
Correct.
And in that meeting now, what was the purpose of that meeting?
I believe, well, I wasn't sure why he had requested the meeting, but subsequently, based on what I've heard him say, I believe he interpreted the leader having veto, and who is the candidate. He wanted to hear from the leader himself and not through somebody else communicated with him. And I believe that that appears to be the reason why he wanted the meeting.
The leader, as you mentioned to me before, he communicated something in writing to Mr. Rowe on the 10th of January 2025.
Right, so at the meeting on the 4th, none of these issues came up.
No
issue about board, Senate, money, none of that came up.
What came up in that meeting on the 4th, though?
As to, he wanted to know what occasion his removal. The leader expressed some views to him and said to him that he was going to make some additional checks to see, whether or not the decision that was reached is the appropriate decision. He made some checks and then he communicated back to him on the 10th.
Right. Before you get to the 10th, in that 4th of January meeting, all this communication you had with Mr. Rowe on the 30th about the Senate appointment, the board membership of the housing agency, none of those things came up in that 4th of January meeting?
No.
This meeting was recorded?
I didn't record that meeting, no.
Okay. So on the 10th of January now, we are told by Mr. Golding in that letter that he personally did some further soundings of influential comrades in central Kingston after the 4th of January 2025. You know what influential comrades or who those influential comrades are in central Kingston?
Some of them are known, and I believe it is Mr. Rowe who supplied him with the names of some of them.
Which instrument is it that gives the leader of the party the ultimate authority to decide on the candidate? Is it your constitution? What exactly is it?
It was agreed at the annual conference, which is the highest decision-making body within the party.
And you're telling me that the annual conference has not so circumscribed the discretion of the leader so that the leader is to think that you do not make a decision like this close to an election except you have compelling data, not only that the person that you have was not going to win, but that the person you're seeking to replace him with has more than a great possibility of doing much better than the person.
We have done all of that.
You have not, Dr. Campbell.
No, I have not. I've not given you the details.
You could not have done it between the 27th of December and the 10th of January, Dr. Campbell.
Why couldn't I?
Did you?
No, look, I am not going to disclose the specifics of what we do. That is inappropriate for me to do so on here. I am saying to you that we went through a process. We are not in the business of removing a candidate from a constituency that is on their way to winning the constituency. That does not make logical sense to the people who are listening.
The thing that is illogical is that you remove the man in the dark.
Why would we take out a candidate out of a seat who is on their way to winning?
Anyway,
when we are at 14 seats and we need to win 18 more to form government.
The point is,
it is not logical to do so.
Dr. Dayton.
Those who are seeking, no, just let me complete this. Those who are seeking to create an issue will jump to that conclusion. And I want to just make one comment. The persons in media and civil society who have had to criticize the government because of poor practices and have been accused of being PNP should not think that they need to fabricate some corruption in the PNP in order to justify that they are not PNP.
Are you done?
Yes.
Yes, let me get back to the specifics. What shenanigans is it that the party leader spoke to when he was installing Steve McGregor? Let me play the exact clip from him where he spoke about all the shenanigans that used to go on. It can't go on again, or it don't know. Let's just play that, please.
And you know, I think it will be a new day for Central Kingston. Cause the little shenanigans and things were going on before. That cut out now.
What shenanigans?
Again, I don't know why I would be out here disclosing these things. It is not for the benefit of the party. I have a responsibility to protect the interest of the party. I don't know why. Someone would think it's appropriate that I would be on here discussing these things.
But can I just ask you, don't you think it is highly inappropriate for the leader of the party to insinuate that a long-standing comrade who's been removed as candidate for a constituency, with his removal and the installation of a new candidate, then shenanigans cut out? You don't think that's inappropriate?
No, I don't think what he said is inappropriate based on what I know that he was referring to.
But the problem is you continue to operate as if the PNP is a private men's club.
No,
so you say some things.
We have a female chairman, so I'm not operating that way at all.
Yeah, but if you are making these comments that are so colored, and when we ask you to explain why is it that you make them, your response to me is the comment is not inappropriate because of what you know. What do you know about Lawrence Rowe such that the president spoke about shenanigans that have now been cut out since he's no longer there?
Mrs. Shields, it is the prerogative of a political party to determine its candidates.
That's not the issue.
I think that's a simple fundamental thing. Whatever issues that are there is no reason. No matter what is said about me by Lawrence or anybody else, I am not going to come out and be unkind to them because they were unkind to me.
This part now, let's just hear this part, this last bit.
A real man is here to serve the people.
What exactly is that about, Dr. Campbell?
Steve McGregor is there to serve the people.
And the one who was there before is not a real man?
Was there to serve the people, but things didn't work out. So he has been replaced by another candidate. And we are intended to win the constituency and to serve the people and uplift the lives of the people in Central Kingston.
What was being insinuated with the use of the term real man?
Both are real.
So if both are real, why is the need for the word real?
Emphasis does not mean that you're trying to separate two things.
Really?
No, doesn't necessarily mean that at all.
Wow.
He didn't draw a comparison between them. He just emphasized that there's a real man here that is going to uplift the lives of the people. And with that, I think we can segue beautifully to say that we now have in place in Central.
I heard you, man. I heard your clip that you have the 63 and you have Steve McGregor. But you know, Dr. Campbell, you know the beautiful thing about the people of Jamaica?
Yes.
The people are so bright and they have the ability to read in whatever you insinuate. And if you do not want people to read anything, be very clear with the language that you use.
All right, you are listening to Emily Shields.
Just imagine that is just an internal matter, right? The whole situation is just an internal matter. And Emily Shields, I got so hard at it. But Andrew Wallace with 28 bank account withholding information from the Integrity Commission, bring the Integrity Commission Ghana court for strike out. For strike out certain law where we held politicians accountable for their wrongdoing. Emily Shield will not pressure the Prime Minister. I tell you, say, come like I say, yo, a Mark Golding and the Dayton Campbell and the Prime Minister and the government. It look like I them the government because me no see the government I get no pressure from these journalists. Furthermore, them not even as much as ask Andrew Wallace no question. Why you don't ask Andrew Wallace about the 28 bank account? Why fasting in a PNP business, internal business? Taxpayers' money not in that, but 28 bank account with taxpayers' money in it, you don't feel that is bad. You don't feel say that is bad. You don't feel say that is bad. But guess what? Only have strength for one set of people. Only have strength for one set of the people. And the people them where them name now call up in a corruption. The one them where them name a call up in a corruption. Emily Shield, you go interview Delroy Chuck for corrupted talk I make. Me want to see you go interview Feda and Feda brother and the whole of them. Interview them as well. And make sure you pressure them. Put on your same pressure upon them like how you put on upon Dayton Campbell. Put on upon them too. Interview the Prime Minister, ask him about the 28 back account. Ask him about Estate Bridge. Ask him about all of those stuff. You're a journalist. But people state a thought and that down below in the comment section. And as usual people, remember, leave a like on this video. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed as yet. And turn on the post notification bell so whenever we drop new content, you will be first to be notified. Share the content with a friend, a family, a loved one. Share it on your social media platform. My people, remember, God is love and love is the answer. And God is within you, my people. So remember, be kind to others.